Do you want to introduce yourself?
Democratic Primary 101 by Corey and Joe.
Okay. First rule of order. Let's get Elizabeth Warren over here. There's Elizabeth Warren doing her thing. All right. Corey's going to explain how the Democratic candidate gets chosen.
So
while I sit my screwdriver and he empties the dishwasher.
So the Democratic Party does a caucus. It does not do a normal primary. And a caucus is you show up to a school gym just like you would go to vote, and they organize in groups of, okay, who do you support? Do you support Bernie? And then you run to that group. And do you support Elizabeth? You run to that group. Within those groups, people actually talk and they debate and they say, I love Elizabeth because of this, I love Bernie because of this, and they're in separate groups. And whoever has the most valid points and whoever, is the best in that group, they go on to another group. And in that group, they debate and they say, I love Bernie because of this, I love Elizabeth because of this, and within that group, they vote on whoever is the best in that group. So it turns out that eventually people will be debating and people will vote on who they want for their
representative?
For the representative.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then they vote on who's going to be the delegate. And pretty much whoever has the best points and is making.
So how does a
argument.
representative go from a rep to a delegate?
Well, no, that's two different things. A representative is Elizabeth Warren. A delegate is whoever's debating in that.
You lost me.
So a delegate will actually move.
So
up.
Elizabeth Warren is a delegate.
No. Elizabeth Warren is who you're voting for.
A representative.
Yeah. A delegate is the person that's making the arguments that really wants their voice heard, and the points that they're making are valid and they make sense and people like them. So if you move up the ranks in delegates, so you start in the school gym and then you go to another delegation and you move up, and then you could eventually have a vote in if your voice is heard. So far, you're that good at making your point, you could actually have a vote in the delegation for the actual primary. If that makes any sense.
No.
So, you kind of work your way up. And then...
Because we kind of researched that you have to be a politician or some type of...
super delegate.
Super delegate is a politician.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But a regular delegate would be just somebody that's in the community that is... within, or that just is very strong in a party that is proven
they know what they're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. So you go to your caucus. You go to your local caucus.
Or somebody that would mail out things to us that somebody that just it's one of those ones that goes door to door and says.
Sure. Could be anybody. It could be.
But then how do they get chosen
because
to be?
People vote for them.
How do we vote?
In the school.
Okay, so how do I vote?
In the school where you go to do your voting, you're not voting, you're talking.
So we have to go down to the school where we vote.
Mm-hmm. Or wherever they assign it,
Okay, so we can go down there and
talk to people.
And we as just regular citizens could then vote on.
Yeah, you could eventually, if you really worked your way up, you could be a delegate.
Well, but I just want to know how to put the delegate in there. So we could go down there to that school where we vote. Mm-hmm. We could listen to them, and now how do we know about those when they are?
You'll get. It's not till 2020. It's not till the spring. Next spring is when the primaries are.
Okay, so how do they? So before that, it's just pretty much money that gets these people eliminated. Because we have 24 candidates, and so it's
money.
Is that correct?
it's money, it's popularity. If you don't have 1% of the vote of popularity, then you're not even invited to the
Okay.
debates.
Okay. So it's the popularity. So it's going off. Now, which polls?
I think they do an average of polls.
I mean, because all the polls are fake.
Right. I think they do an average of all the major polls. And if you're not showing up on any of them, then you're done. And then it's about money. It's
Right.
like, okay, how much
Who
are you willing to
has
spend?
raised?
So eventually it comes down to, by the time the primary comes around, there'll probably be 8 at most.
Right. So we do have somewhat of an influence on what we can do in our community, like just with us here. If we pay attention to when that initial meeting is happening,
Yeah.
then we can go there, and those are not the super ones, but I mean, like
Delegates.
the actual delegates.
So whoever
So
has-
they'll be there, and so
Well, they're not gonna be there. They're gonna be chosen there.
okay, they're gonna be chosen there.
Yeah.
So we can look through their records
So-
of what the policies.
No.
No.
This is the average person. This is me and you.
Oh.
Could be a delegate.
Oh.
So you could go
Huh.
there, and if you have valid points and people like what you're saying, then you go on.
And then you
And
then you
eventually-
apply to be in the DNC,
No,
or
you just get voted. You get voted up, and then eventually, if you get voted up high enough, then you can be an
okay.
actual delegate.
Well, I definitely want to do this.
Well, I'm sure you will.
Well, yeah. I mean, do we have to go to the actual meeting, or is it like
Yeah. You got to go to the initial.
it can't be like okay,
Delegation.
here's the
No. You got to go to the initial caucus in your school district
okay,
or your whatever, wherever you live.
because it has to be okay. Okay.
And I'm 90% sure that's how it works.
Well, that's 90% more than any of us. No.
So Google it and make sure I'm wrong. Let me know.
All right. Thank you, my love.
Yep.
Wave hi to Bryce, Katie, and Nicole.
Have fun.